how to sharpen a knife. Kitchen knife, Tanto, throwing knife, Dagger, Cleaver, carving knife, hunting knife, folding knife, paring knife, daily carry. Doesn't matter what kind of knives you're using. What you're doing for all sharpening is this little feathered edge. If it's covering that whole surface, it will slowly start pushing the steel off the end of the blade. So I'm going to call that the feather. Then we come back to the other side and work that edge again. So each time that feather edge is being worked out and becoming thinner and thinner. When using the whetstones, you need to let them sit in water and absorb as much as they can. I'm going to start with my 200 grit, which I have already trued up. So a little bit of water. I want to use the entire stone. I am pushing down lightly, keeping a square, even pressure onto my stone. And continue. Checking it often, switching it over, because of course you can't see what you're grinding away. You just need to be aware. Here we have a little bit of gloss, which means I've just touched here, but I'm not touching here yet. When working with carbon steel, as this knife is, keep a cloth around. As you're keeping it wet and you do have the baking soda in, keep it dry. When it comes to hydrating your stone, this is acting as the lubricant. You'll hear a difference. The dry stone, you'll hear a difference. This is all even. The beginning of the edge is tough to see, but if you feel for it, if it's smooth, keep going. We need to find this angle. So you roll it around, you start to feel where it is. The easiest way is just start. Hold an angle that you know is not on the edge yet. Boom, there we are. We know where we are. That feeling is almost the edge. So a little bit more. Hear that sound difference? It's cutting into that edge. If you look directly at the edge, you'll see some dark areas. That is the beginning of that feather. This feather still is very sharp, as is the edge underneath it. They can go through your cloth quite easily. So this is a small piece of this. So I'm going to true one side of it down and make that flat. So that's nice and flat now. Now I say this is cheating because I keep the block on the table and I'm moving the knife over top to get my cutting edge. But right now I have all of this that needs to be cleaned up. So another method you can use, which I am noting as the cheating method, kind of like sandpaper. Because this way now I can see everything that I'm working. I don't have to keep moving it back and forth. I can add my water as I need it. Because currently I am not touching the cutting part. This is just for appearance. That is nice and even, and I have a wonderful edge. So I'm gonna say that is done for the 200 grit. Let's move on to the 1000 now and start working this cutting edge. We have a clean knife, we have a brand new towel, and we have a prepped and ready 1000 grit stone. Everything is back the same. Now the first bit of this will be removing that edge. Just the same as before, the whole stone is being used. I'm holding the knife flat. Enjoy the matte finish that starts to happen here with the high carbon. And each time we've minimized that silver around the edge. We see more of a bluish gray to a silvery gray. You can spend a long time working on these. So there we go, so close. Yep. This is the tedious part, where you're close, So close. And you could say, it's good enough. Don't say it's good enough. Find out when it's perfect, then stop. That is all one sheen, which means we've already got that tiny feather on this side. Okay, that is all the way down. Now I'm going to go back to my other trick. Let's go to the next step. That feathering now needs to be removed. It's sharp and it can cut, but with that feathering gone, it will be even sharper. I like the leather. Now the technique here is just keep going. This is a quicker process than the other processes, but it's still quite time consuming. And then feel. So I just keep going. When do you stop? I have my own. I have arm hair. To me, like that's fine. That's a sharp knife. The paper, it's not as pretty. Maybe there's something else I can cut. Here we go. Doesn't have the same weight behind it. One cut. Just pressing.